What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today is a cool video. It's been a long time coming. Ever since 2015 when I went to Japan and I seen an Evo wagon there, I've always dreamt of having one over here in the United States. And yes, we picked up the Lancer Sportback, base model, like grandma mail lady wagon. Over the course of like 20 some videos, we converted it into an Evo, and now it is on the dyno in this video. But before I wanted to get started, this weekend only, we're doing 5 times entries for a chance to win the Telluride or $50,000 in cash. So I know I got a lot of flack for giving away like a stock SUV, like a bone stock brand new SUV. But these things are so freaking sick. I'm gonna do a review on it in the future, but just want to let you guys know, 5 times entries this weekend only, basically Saturday, Sunday, the 18th and 19th. So if you head over to MotionAutoTv.com, every dollar you spend gets you automatically entered for a chance to win this freaking thing, or like I said, $50,000 in cash. So if you don't like the Telluride, if you have a project car, whatever. So right now, before we get started with this video, go ahead and leave a comment on how much horsepower and torque. Torque is a huge factor in here on what you think the Evo is going to make, but also what you would pick. If you would pick the Telluride or if you would pick the cash. And if you did pick the cash, what would you do with it? So let's get on with today's video. Draining this is basically the first oil change. Was that hot, Blake?
Oh yeah, the whole thing's hot.
A little bit warm. First oil change right there. Stuff literally has like probably 5-10 miles on it. Pulling everything out of it, it honestly looks really good. Looks really clean. Doesn't look like there's any metal flakes or anything. And this was just conventional oil. So we're gonna put another round of conventional oil in it for the dyno. Do the dyno stuff and then get it all kind of broke in and everything on there. And then we'll come back and we'll actually put some synthetic stuff in it. So we got some fresh oil that went in there. So now, since we are going up to the dyno tomorrow, we are switching this thing over to speed density. So we're deleting the mass airflow sensor. ACD cap just left the building. I don't know what happened. We were driving it and then it just disappeared.
It wasn't that great to begin with.
And then the other thing that we're doing is installing a 10-an bung right there. But most importantly, we are putting a set of Deatschwerks 2200cc injectors right here. So you can see, you got the special part number. This one actually makes the streets. Yeah, these are the Evo ones. They are not plug and play. You could get them with adapters. You could get them with clips and stuff. But I chose to get the ones with the pins and clips. So basically what we're gonna do is cut off the stock injector clips, strip the wire back, and then actually clip these on. So it'll be like an OEM plug. So there won't be any other connections or anything in between it. And the other thing that we have to do, so basically we're not gonna be able to start the car anymore as of now. Evos are factory low impedance or low impedance injectors. There's a resistor box back here. And at the dyno, they actually have one of those little plugs in stock. So I'll basically just unplug that tomorrow, plug in the resistor box bypass for the high impedance injectors. So 2200cc injectors, we're installing a 4-bar map sensor. We're deleting the mass airflow sensor. And stock Evo 9 Turbo, this thing's gonna get...
I think it's impedance. Impedance, yeah.
So this thing's gonna get sent on like 30 PSI tomorrow. And we're gonna see how that goes. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
You're just gonna stay here and work on your Ranger, so yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with you, but
oh, how's the headlights?
brand new.
So Sean basically spent a couple hours today messing with the headlights, drilling out all the crap, getting all the goop out of them. But then
they came out pretty
sanded them and I mean, they're
for what they were to begin with.
They're definitely presentable. Well, they're kind of presentable.
This one more so than that one.
They'd be good on the Kevo. Yep.
That will eventually do.
Yeah. See, we got the clips. We have this, not too proud of this line, but we ran out of 10-an line, so need, this is like a turbo drain that came with a kit, so 10-an thing right here, 10-an thing right there, but at least we'll have some crankcase ventilation. This one will go actually to the intake, so it'll kind of suck a little bit, and then this one will just kind of be over there. So 2200cc injectors going in. I already threw on the new map sensor, and then you can see these plugs, how I just basically depinned the other ones, cut them, spliced them, and got them in there. So yeah, just gonna stick the injectors in and not start. Yeah, we're just basically gonna have to push it up in the trailer. I lost the ACD cap, so some aluminum tape is gonna have to do. Put a 3-inch intake on right here, and we have a boost controller that's gonna go on tomorrow right there. So yeah, lots of stuff. Got that good battery thing, and also earlier our alternator stopped charging, but it was just a fuse, so should be good. I mean, just look at this thing outside. Those headlights don't look half bad now. All right, she's in the trailer. This thing looks so freaking cool. Today is an exciting day. You know why? Because it's freaking Dyno Day, probably. Like, Dyno Day?
Dyno Day.
Dyno Day for the Evo Wagon, so it is in the trailer. Yesterday we had a busy day. I didn't think I had that much work to do, but Sean messed with the headlights for a while. We had a bunch of goop in the headlights and just had to use the wire wheel. There's a bunch of dirt, there was a bunch of grime. We ended up gluing them back together, polishing them, put them back in. They look great. Honestly, they look pretty great. Look at this, we got a tent city right here. So we are headed up to my friend's dyno, which is Steve at Divulge Motorsports, and he has his dyno in a shop up here, I Crave Boost Performance, and he's gonna get us all tuned up. Over the course of the last year, he's tuned probably over 100 and some Evos, and he's I don't know, we're just gonna try to get this thing in or out of the trailer and let him freaking tune it, probably. All right, boys, so had to just go park the truck and trailer. We're walking back over to the shop right now, but Blake, how much power? How much power do you think?
470.
470 on a stock little baby turbo? 2.3 stroker, 2200cc Deatschwerks injectors, 4-bar map sensor, stock turbo. How you doing? 3-inch exhaust straight through. Stock ECU, got that center force clutch. Center force freaking twin disc clutch. That thing is gonna rip, probably. All the way ripping. Feels like stock. Should hold like 1600 torque, right?
Really?
1600 torque. I mean, that's pretty, the one in my Corvette will hold 1600 torque, I think, is what it is. I think this one's like 11 or 13, but should be more than enough for what we got going on. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this thing does. We're gonna walk back over to the dyno and see how it's doing. How's the Z doing, Blick?
Better than yours.
I know a guy who has one of those. He's great at parking though. Look at that, inch away from the curb. No curb rash. That's how you know he's a professional Z enthusiast. All right, so Steve got it started. Basically just rolled it out of the trailer right here. Now we're gonna pull it in and get it on the dyno. Yep. How much power is it gonna make today?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
So it's a 2.3 stroker,
Okay.
2200cc injectors. It's got GSE, the 272 cams, the billet ones. It's a 9, Evo 9, and a stock Evo 9 turbo.
Stock Evo 9
Stock
Turbo
Evo 9 turbo.
on a 2.3 stroker.
Yeah. What do you,
It's gonna be torquey.
that's what Steve was saying. He said that this is like, I was asking him if this was the right thing to do. And Steve, what'd you say?
I said it's one of the more fun setups that there are.
Just because it has so much torque?
So much torque, yeah. It makes full boost at like 2,500 RPMs. They're
Full
awesome.
boost, which is going to be what, like 30 pounds?
Yeah, 30 pounds, 27 to 32 pounds, depending on how healthy the turbo is.
I mean, I think it's healthy. I don't know.
We're going to find out.
I'm glad that your cable connected to it, though. Because my cable wasn't.
Did you try this? I didn't try your cable.
Yeah.
Did you have that plugged in?
I had that plugged in, too. That's
Okay.
the little...
The flash enable.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I don't know.
Mine works.
So how much power are you thinking today, Steve?
I don't know. What are we... Over 400. Like
Yeah.
420, 430 maybe, something like that. But then, what, 400 torque probably?
Yeah.
So,
Sounds good, right?
come on.
Yeah. Maybe we need the jump box.
That's what we do.
Dang Evos. Wouldn't be a dyno day without some sort of
Mishap.
something.
Yeah.
So the starter wire cable was all
Super corroded.
but you got I thought that was an extension cord, but I guess that's just the
That's the fan.
that's the stuff.
in there.
Oh yeah. That
Coming
looks
through
gross.
the other side.
Oh. Yeah, that's not good.
No.
So maybe, do you think the starter will sound better now?
Should, hopefully.
Instead of sounding like poop, like that. Okay guys, so we replaced the starter last night with this.
Sounds no different.
Maybe it's the car.
Might be the car.
It's probably the car. So the starter, it had an OEM starter on it, and then it sounded like that. So then we put the Reman starter on it, and then it sounded like that. And then now we have another, like a known good starter.
Known good OE starter.
And now it sounds like that.
Yeah, sounds like it's hitting the flywheel.
It's weird. These things,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
5%.
Yeah.
Long-term fuel trim high would be 5%. So you don't want this guy to ramp up and start rolling in. Like if you're constantly 15% rich, it'll start rolling in long-term trim that'll bring that 5% up. Throw the check engine light.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt anything, it just is annoying.
Yeah.
But, so,
That's one of the things with open source. It's like,
a lot of it's just workaround. You know, it's kind of tricking the computer to be happy.
I think, so I have a plug-and play for a ECU master for an Evo 8. So I think I would just have to pin in like the MyVec and some of that other stuff on it. And maybe like, is there additional cam sensors for the Evo 9?
There's two. So you've got your trigger sensor, the one that the motor references, and then just hit what temp did we just get? Might have just hit operating temp. 95C. Yeah, so you got two cam sensors. You've got your one that the engine's timed off of, so your ignition timing when you go to standalone, and then you've got cam position on the MyVec.
Yeah.
And that's your point of reference for the MyVec.
So I'd have to wire in those. I'd have to see, 'cause it would be cool to put this thing on a standalone, like actually have.
There's so much better. You can do a lot with open source, and people take this a long ways, for sure. Myself included. I mean, got like over 800 on a stock computer, but it's not suggested.
But even like the giveaway Evo, like that was 730.
Yeah.
You know, stock
Yeah.
computer, which is really cool. You just buy a cable off the internet, but also you have to know what you're doing.
Yep.
You know, all the workarounds you can't really do.
Safeties. Like safeties are, in my opinion, everything.
He heard the power steering. How does the motor sound? It sounds like kind of whiny.
I think, yeah.
And the wideband is like right here.
Okay.
It's like further back, so it's not.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's making 7 pounds just revving it.
Seems a lot less pissed off now,
Yeah.
which is good. These things do have to learn how to idle too. It's kind of a pain.
Learn how to idle.
Yep. Yep. I think they say, like, you're supposed to let them idle for like 15 minutes. The Evo 10s are that way. The 8s maybe not as long. 8s and 9s maybe not as long, but you let them idle for 10 minutes and then it sets all the fuel trims, and that's where long-term stuff gets important.
Yeah.
So, pull this down just a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like it's way easier to tune like a standalone. I'd say once the standalone's dialed in initially, like to go in and just like adjust little shit, which
Instant gratification. You make a change, you get a change.
yeah.
You know, you see if it worked. If not, you roll it back. These tread cautiously and slowly.
That's one thing I like about like the ECU Master, especially like in the Mustang and stuff. Like before you tuned it on Drift Week,
Yeah.
like we were just cruising it. I was like, oh, I want to lean it out just to see if we were getting like 12 miles a gallon in that. I think it was like 10 or something. It was terrible. And we were on pump gas and stuff. I was like, this thing's like a 3 liter, like, but literally we just leaned it out and it was like 15 AFR just cruising, and it still got like 12 miles a gallon.
Well, that didn't do anything.
Well, I mean, in Mustang heavy too, is like 4,000 pounds, and then it was
And you have the trailer,
we had to
right?
towing the trailer, and so. But yeah, I mean, it was just cool to be able to try all that stuff.
Yeah.
where to start. I don't know. It's just, I'm sure once you play with it for a little bit, but it's not like you just go in there and you're like, all right, injectors, like idle tail, target lambda, like, you know, just like play with that stuff. But well, let me know when you get ready to do some rolling things.
I will. I gotta strap the front down. I'm just glad we're at least getting somewhere now.
Yeah. She's officially strapped down. We have, I think it's doing a little better. Sounds a little better.
Better-ish. I think it'll be enough to get through. I think the flywheel or the starter's dragging on the flywheel, so.
Doing a little bit of weird stuff, but.
Yeah, we have the starter loose to get it started, but.
We had it idling for like 15 minutes or so, so it was, your fuel stuff was doing kind of what it wanted to do and things and stuff. I'm excited, Steve.
Me too.
I'm excited. I just want to drive it. That's all I want to do.
Yeah,
I just want to drive it.
Awesome. pump do you have in this?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think
Is it stock?
I don't know.
Oh god.
I think it was a Walbro. I think it was a 255. Is that a?
You should have enough, as long as it's healthy.
I have a Deatschwerks 300 at the shop.
Yeah.
But we just filled it up, so it was like all the way full. So initially I was just gonna put it in here all stock, like stock ECU, stock engines, pump gas, like everything, and then we found out the engine was, so then it was like, oh well shit, now we're doing 2-3 stroker, but the pumps were already in there, and it was just like, it was one of those things, you know?
Sure.
But I hadn't planned on going crazy yet.
complicated way that that ECU flash does speed density. So when they do the speed density calibration, you've got your table lookup, right? So high octane fuel. Okay. And we have a speed density scaler right here. So in order for me to even get, I mean, we're at, you know, I have it on gate or whatever, which is, it's coming out to be about 12 or 13 pounds. It is using calculation for 1.4, well, on the other one it was like 1.5 bar. So basically maxing your gauge out, because the way that it works is this speed density RPM VE, volumetric efficiency, is a multiplier applied to your lookup. Which doesn't mean it adds 50% fuel. It goes 50% farther than what your actual load value is and uses that load.
Okay.
Which also means it does the same with ignition timing. So it is using so much load, like at 12 pounds of boost, we're using 30 pounds of boost worth of fuel.
Oh, wow.
Fuel lookup.
Yeah.
And we're still going lean. Like above 5,500, it's still running away lean.
Yeah.
Which means I'm gonna ramp that up to like 80%.
Yeah.
Like moral of the story, we're not gonna have enough fuel to do it.
Yeah. So you think one single pump?
I would do, if you're gonna do a single, problem is when you modify these, and I've watched these guys do this a bunch and it never goes well. That's why everybody just, like, it's just been, don't hack it, just get the radium double pump set up. You have to cut the hanger to put a 450 in. And it ends up, just like you said, it's like 250 bucks for the radium drop in with 2 pumps and all of that. You know, the other thing is we got 2200 cc injectors, and we're using, let me open this other log, this guy. It was 48% duty cycle on our injectors.
At 12 pounds of boost.
At 12 pounds of boost to make 220 horsepower.
Yeah.
You know, 44.433 duty cycle. So we're using, you know, basically 600 horsepower worth of pulse width to make 250. And we don't have enough fuel.
That's crazy. Do you think if we put like a single Deatschwerks like 300 in there, they'd go like 340?
A single will work, just as long as it fits,
Well,
you know, because they have the
like
two different
for right
styles.
now, on like the power level we're going for, like right now with like the E85 and those injectors and all that shit, do you think that would work?
That would work.
So if we had like a pump today, could we?
No modification. Like they have a 340 drop. The 340 drop in.
Yeah.
The other option would be to see what Schiller has. Yeah. As far as the drop in, no modification style.
All right. What is it?
Stock! Dun 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 dun!
So we were on the dyno, and Steve, you said, "Hey,
We need fuel.
we need some fuel."
We're
And I was
out
like,
of fuel.
well, I think it has like some random 255 pump or something like that. And he's like,
I bet we're gonna open it. It's gonna be stock.
and guess what? So Nicole, I guess you're the fuel pump master around here.
I guess.
She just hopped in there like 10 minutes, had this thing out. And we have a stock pump. So we're throwing an AEM 340 in there and see how that thing does. Then we should have a little bit of fuel. Shouldn't have to chase it to the moon with all that stuff, and then we can make some power.
Yep. More power, baby.
More power.
$2.99 at 10 pounds of boost. So got it on the wastegate right now. We finally have fuel. Car's not going into any lag because we turned that off because there's no speed sensor.
Yeah.
So working through some small issues, and then we're on the right track now, making some power. And
Yeah, it sounded really, really smooth that whole ass pull. So
Yeah.
that's the most power this chassis has ever made, because it
It was a Lancer,
It was
right?
a Lancer. Just all it ever made was like 100, maybe.
That's
Well,
awesome. So we're about to 4 times the power this chassis ever had.
Exactly. Oh, cool. Well, I'm excited. All right, so you just hit 347. All right, Steve.
Yes, sir.
Made 347. What'd you do?
Turn the boost up a little bit.
To 12 pounds? 13
Looks like
pounds?
it only made 12 or 13 pounds, yeah. So we're gonna turn, keep going up. I'm gonna put some more timing in this too. I bet it'll like it. What's the compression on the motor?
10.
Okay.
10 or 10 and a half.
Cool.
So it probably needs it, right? Yeah. And the oversized valve, it wants it all.
It wants it all.
And the GSCs,
We're gonna give it to it.
all of it. All right, so we just did another pull. It made 402 horsepower and 464 foot-pounds of torque. And I guess that's what you were talking about, that stock Evo 9.
The Evo 9 with the 2.3 stroker is so much fun. It's like GTR torque and power, you know?
And that was basically 21 pounds of boost.
Yep.
And it hit really hard, and then it tapered down to about 14, 15 pounds of boost. So yeah, that's gonna be rad.
It's fun. So I said it's one
What
of my
RPM did it hit that at?
And I can make it come in earlier. I'm just trying to keep it from coming in too low. Basically, I roll into the pull at like 2,900 RPMs, and by 3,600, it was almost 500 foot-pounds of torque.
Woo!
So we can shift that down. I'll do a pull at like 2,000, and you'll see the torque make that much torque, but it'll be like at 2,700 or 3,000 RPMs.
It's gonna be crazy. And so it's also on stock wastegate actuator, stock Evo 9 turbo, and stock blow-off valve too.
Yeah.
And it hasn't even been crushed, so maybe we need to crush the blow-off valve because that could be opening and letting it kind of taper off the boost at the top because it can't hold back that much much pressure. So I should probably just get a normal blow-off valve on here too.
Yeah. You can always crush
Well,
it.
when it's coming soon. At least it runs a dry, and 464 foot-pounds of torque. How you doing, huh? That's gonna be rowdy. Foot-pounds of torque before you let out of it. It was making some. Alright, so having a little bit of a spark blowout issue. So 388 horse and 523 foot-pounds of torque, and that was basically right when he let out just because it was kind of getting a little bit of breakout stuff. So pulling the plug to see what we have them gapped at. Thought I had them gapped down low, but maybe we need to put some colder plugs, or it probably just doesn't like that we're trying to run like 30 pounds of boost on the stock
bullshit coils that come
whatever those, and I've never, you know, who knows how good they are or bad they are. Those are probably the original ones with original wires, you know. So I don't know. It had the original fuel pump in it, so that kind of could make sense, but this thing's gonna be rowdy. 500 foot-pounds of torque. Blake, what do you think about that? So my Supra makes 550 foot-pounds of torque, and this thing is going to make 525. At least.
might be the best power I've gotten out of this setup.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that might be one of the better.
Holy crap.
540.
540 torque. That's as much torque as my Supra. My Supra didn't even make, well, my Supra made 550. That is nuts. So that's the stock.
That might be. I need to do a BIS adjustment, but that might be the biggest the biggest torque and biggest horsepower Evo 923 so far.
On a stock turbo?
On a stock Evo 9 turbo, yeah. I don't think I've done 540 torque on one.
That's
See how rich it was though? Like that's just, oh yeah, we were like 9.8.
Oh wow.
Where at a lower boost level we were like 11.6.
Yeah.
It's little turbo, it's just choking stuff out. So.
Yeah. Wow. What now? What do we do now?
Drivability stuff. I mean, you want me to leave it just,
I mean,
to the moon?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think
Leave it 100%.
Yeah,
Okay.
that looks like a lot of fun.
I think it will be a lot of fun.
I mean, this
Get
gauge
this
went.
thing a little happier idling and make sure all the drivability stuff looks okay, but shit, it'll make what it'll make. Nice cool night in the fall, it'll probably do 34, 35 pounds, so it'll be even more.
Do the turbos live? Like, are they?
No. I mean, it's a small Mitsubishi turbo, but I think you have a solution for that coming. So
Yeah, so just might as well play with it while we can.
Yeah.
Cool. How's the clutch feel?
The clutch feels fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good clutch. I like this one.
Yeah.
What'd you say? What? It's a twin plate. I know
It's
that,
a center force twin disc.
Oh.
So they did aluminum flywheel. You could do aluminum or steel.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's rated at like crazy. Same clutch as pretty much in my Corvette. That's nuts.
Yeah, it is nuts.
That's crazy, Steve. You're
cool.
you're a madman. So a little bit of a backstory. I called Steve and I was like, hey, like, because we were planning on running the 3582 on here with the JMF manifold, but I wanted to keep the AC. And he's like, put the stock turbo back on it. I was like, what? Like, I was like, it's a 2.3 stroker with cams and valve springs and stuff. He's like, no, just put the stock turbo back on it. It'll be a lot of fun.
I think you'll see what it is. 540 foot-pounds. That's like, I mean, 540 foot-pounds is like a 750 horse B series. You know, that's like
With all-wheel drive.
with all-wheel drive.
Yeah. In a wagon.
In a wagon.
How you doing?
4 doors.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think Steve's gonna clean up a little bit more of the stuff, and then I don't know. I think we need to take it for a drive, go see how it is. Chiller, what are we doing now?
Replacing the idle adjustment screw.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of a bouncing idle, and this one doesn't have any tension on it.
That's not good, I guess. Because then it can kind of adjust itself. And then Steve, he cleaned up some of the fuel, and he did this. So now, 440 horse and 545 foot-pounds of torque. This thing is going to be rowdy.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what it is. But
That stock 9 turbo is going.
yeah, I hope it lasts for a while.
Maybe.
Do you think we need to like crush the?
Yeah.
Pretty dirty? Oh yeah.
All the carbon
Wow.
on the end of it. So the idle air control valve is going to look like that too.
Okay.
Pretty
so I need
common.
to
A
clean
bit
it.
of maintenance.
Yeah. All the normal
All the
Evo
Evo
things, I
things.
guess.
Yep.
Well, cool. Well, we came to the right place because we're here at. So Steve actually has at Divulge. He has his dyno in iCrate Boost. So you guys are a performance and repair shop. I thought that was. I told him that was funny this morning because as soon as we pulled on the dyno, we needed some stuff. We needed a starter, and then we needed the fuel pump. And I was like, well, good thing we came to iCrate Boost Performance and Repair because we use the repair part a lot.
Yeah.
today.
A lot of people think the performance doesn't coincide with repairs, so got to throw that in there.
I mean, it makes sense. I looked it up on Google just to make sure I was going to the right place today, and or I didn't get lost. And I seen the repair, and I was like,
Might need some repairs.
Might need a couple repairs. So you guys got a shop full of GTRs, Evo, ST300, Evo, GTR, bunch of cool projects and all kinds of stuff that they got going on. So I think we're gonna see if it doesn't surge the idle anymore.
Yeah.
Or maybe it needs the idle air control cleaned.
Yeah, it'll probably need, I would say, a full throttle body service. So, but
okay. What do you do with that? Just run a can of brake cleaner through it?
no. Take it apart, take the blade out, take the shaft out, replace the seals. You know.
Clean the idle motor if it's not stuck. Ultrasonic clean it. Yeah.
Well, I seen you guys had an ultrasonic cleaner over there.
Yes, sir. Nice and squeaky clean.
So
We'll see what she does.
well, this is a pretty successful day, I'd say. It drove onto the dyno, and now it's going to drive off the dyno. I hope here in a minute it's going to drive off. 545 torques. That's pretty bonkers. She's still running, so that's great. That's great. Should we go for a drive?
I think you should. Kind of puts your fenders right on the wheels when it's squat.
Traffic. It's like a diesel. That's nuts. Yeah, I'd like to take this thing out on the road course. All right, guys, so we just went for our first drive in this thing, and I don't know if you can tell by the video, but that thing is freaking torquey. Like, and it like hits all the way down low, like, and then it kind of falls off up top. Obviously, it's only making how much power up top?
Oh, it drops off to what, 200 and something horsepower, basically half by red line.
Like a stock K-Series Honda.
Yep.
Up top.
Small turbo syndrome.
But yeah, I mean, this is just a really interesting combination of like me and Steve were just sitting here talking about it. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of a dumb combination.
it is.
But
It
it's
is.
like
you said though, it gives you the option, right? If you blow your motor up, you can build it, and if you don't have money to do full turbo and fuel system and everything, you could do it. Like, you have 2100s, which we could have done all this on,
Yeah.
you know, thousands or 1300s. So
yeah, exactly. Or even just like pump gas.
Yeah,
On, like
yeah,
stock
could've-
everything just to, obviously with the boost turned down. But you know, it's one of those things when you're building a car, and I feel like there should always be kind of stages, or else you end up in this where it just never gets done.
yeah, you're over the top. You see that more times than not.
Yeah.
Because everybody, they just buy. It's really cool to take pictures of all the parts, but then when you get down to it and the labor and what it actually takes to get it all done, and people a lot of times unfortunately lose interest.
Yeah.
You know?
Or they run out of money.
They run out of
like,
money, yep.
Life changes. They have a
Yep.
kid. Like, this build that they thought was going to take, 2 months ends up taking a year, and now they have a kid, or they lost their job or whatever. And I think this was kind of a cool example of, okay, what can you do on the stock turbo? I don't know. This is the furthest you've ever pushed one, right?
Yeah, I've never. We had fun today, so
Yeah.
I think normally I reel it back a little bit because I mean you've got, like we said, exciting stuff coming up for this one. But
Yeah.
yeah, normally I'll pull them back a little bit. But yeah, definitely the farthest I pushed the stock Evo 9 turbo.
Yeah.
On a 2.3 setup. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely rowdy. And then the clutch too, that center force twin disc, that thing feels really, it feels like a stock clutch.
Feels like a stock clutch, yeah.
But
Just a rattly stock clutch. That's all.
A little bit rattly. So, yeah, I really appreciate Steve over here at Divulged Motorsports. If you guys want to follow along with him, he has an Instagram. You don't do much on YouTube
I suck
yet?
on it. I got to get better at it.
So-
we were just having that conversation also.
Yeah,
So.
and I'm trying to help him with some social media stuff over here, and he's always helping me out with. I'm always texting him in the middle of the night, like asking him questions about tuning this and doing that, and just a bunch of setup stuff. So But yeah, if you guys want to find him, if you need something tuned, if you're in Colorado, he does remote tunes too. I think you tuned what, one car this weekend, remote tune for FD.
Yeah, for Formula Drift. Yep.
So do
they're
remote
about to go into qualifying. So
yeah, exactly. So
yeah. Do remote tuning, email tunes. You know, we can do logs. I prefer if I'm going to do that, I prefer to be the one that tuned it. You know, I don't usually like to meddle with other people's stuff. So
yeah,
you know, send me logs of somebody else's tunes, and but
yeah. But anyhow, he does a lot of stuff with, obviously all my stuff on ECU Master, the stock open source stuff. He does HB tuners. He does a lot of Pro EFI, Motec, pretty much everything. If he's been tuning for like, I think it's probably 17 years now, 17 or 20 years.
Yeah, about 20. Tuning about 20 years. Yeah.
And pretty much if it could be tuned, he's probably tuned it at least before or whatever.
Rotaries, motorcycles. You know.
Yeah, we got a drive ahead of us. I guess we got traffic ahead of us is what we got. But yeah, we're gonna hop in this thing, gonna go load it on the trailer. Gonna say bye to all these beautiful Evos and GTRs and stuff over here at iCrave Boost. Chiller, I appreciate you, buddy.
You got it, man.
Thanks for all the parts and the things and the repairs.
Absolutely. Seeing you, man.
All right, later. All right, guys, after this video, be sure to click the link in the description. Head over, get your 5 times entries for a chance to win the Telluride or the cash. Appreciate you guys watching. See you later.